You watched last night. You root for the Rams in a situation like that? Does that happen for you?
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously, I got a lot of love for both teams and respect for both teams. But any time where we can get a little help, I don't ask for too much. But anytime we can get a little help every now and then, I'll take it for sure.
Especially since that win, it kind of mimicked in a way the win that your team had in Arizona because of COVID knocking players out. You were not in that game. What was that game like for you, Davante, to watch that game in Arizona earlier this season for you?
It was terrible, man. I'm not going to lie to you. It was my first time watching a Packers game since my last year in college, man. My first time watching it live on TV. So, I missed some games early in my career, but I never was in a position where I had to be at home. I was always, traveling and on the road with my guys. So it was bad. It was tough, and I was also struggling with COVID at that point. Had a headache, and then watching the game wasn't helping that. So weird experience, but it was definitely good to get out of there with a dub either way.
Well, now it's all good in the hood for sure for you in Green Bay. Now that you're sitting there at 10-3 atop the conference, what works? Why does it work so well? Do you think in Green Bay? I know that's a very general question. But, we see so much that goes on dysfunctional in the NFL, and we see changes that happen to coaches. We see so much that happens, but it just seems to work so well. What does work so well in Green Bay for you?
Well, I think that what we do well and what we did particularly well Sunday night is the in-game adjustments. I feel like a lot of teams, you're not – this league's about matchups, so you're not always going to come out and dominate the way that you draw it up. Obviously when you're scripting in practice, a lot of times you script for the best look or, you dial up a choice route. You obviously want man coverage, so you're going to do that. And then in the game, you may not get man coverage. So how are you going to adjust and how are you going to be able to, make changes on the fly or going into halftime like what we did, make halftime adjustments and come out to where you can come dial it up and get the ball to your playmakers. And I feel like we do a great job of that. We don't always play a perfect full game, and we're still in search of that type of game. But at this point, we found out how to win. And, obviously we've shot ourselves in the foot a few times early on this year. Didn't start off great versus Saints and got that out of our system and played some pretty good football since then. So now it's just putting it together for 4 quarters, and then, we'll be really, really tough team to stop at that point.
So how does that work? Can you take me in the locker room, halftime adjustments? It's LaFleur, it's Rodgers, you? Who's sitting around talking about this sort of stuff when you got 15 minutes to figure this thing out?
Yeah, well, it feels like it's 5 minutes, honestly. You don't even feel like you got 15 minutes in there. You got the defense on one side of the locker room and offense on one side, some chairs, O-line sitting down. And, the coaches are on the whiteboard, and they're drawing up plays. I don't even know whatever they're drawing up. Honestly, I don't even – more the constructive stuff for us is going on when I'm having conversations face-to-face with Matt or face-to-face with Aaron about how it's being played in the first half. And they ask me, different route adjustments that I'd like based off being backside alone or if I'm in a slot. We just do a really good job communicating. And that's a credit to Matt and his staff for – giving me the floor and trusting me and trusting my knowledge of the game and what I'm seeing out there because, I can give great feedback based off of leverages and, different ways that I can beat some of these doubles. And I think that's been the biggest adjustment this year is that I'm not really getting a lot of single coverage. So the communication has to be at a premium, and we've been doing a really good job at that.
The best receiver at his position is voted by his peers in the NFL 100, Davante Adams of the Green Bay Packers here on the Rich Eisen Show. I'm going to throw a couple things your way that I've observed, at least to me, from where I'm sitting watching games and watching your games, and you tell me if I'm onto something or not. It seems that your coach, Matt LaFleur, is saying it with his chest a little bit more often. I see him a lot more demonstrative on the sideline. I see him you're laughing. Am I right or am I wrong with that?
Hey, man, I love it. First of all, the delivery of that statement was premier by you. I love
Thank you,
that.
Sir. Thank you.
But
I stuck the landing? I did?
Is,
okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
The analysis was even better, though, because, I definitely see that. I think as you continue to have more and more success as a player, coach, scout, whatever it is, it builds your confidence. So, and you get to know you build better relationships with your guys because you go through things throughout the season. So I think just based off of how battle tested we are and, different ups and downs that we've had, just really throughout each game, some of the stuff that we got to put up with and still go out there and get dubs. That gives the coaching staff and the players a lot of confidence, and I think that's why he's kind of walking around, not walking around in any type of way, but definitely, like you said, he's saying it with his chest a little bit more. And, it's just our confidence is really high as a team. Definitely not a cocky state whatsoever, because we got a lot of humble players and humble coaches in that locker room. But I think everybody really understands what's in front of us, and we've been really consistent as a team for the past 2 years. So this third year now being, near the final quarter of the season, I think it's saying a lot who we are, that we're, back in the driver's seat, potentially putting ourselves in a position to have a bye first round again. So obviously we still got 4 games to go out there and handle business, and it's not done until it's done. And it's fun that this NFC race is so tight like this too, because it keeps us on our job and makes us tapped in and locked in each and every week. And so it's definitely how we're going to have to be if we want to go win a Super Bowl this year.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.